What's up, everybody? This is DJ Buster B. Got another piece of hardware in today. This is a power distro, a little mini spider box. Like some people call them spider box or distros. But I've been in a few venues this year, about 3 of them, where they have, it's time for us to plug in. Even when you do the site survey, you ask where's all the power outlets. Normally you have your standard 15 amp circuits, sometimes 20 amp. But a lot of 3 places we've been to this year, normally where the DJ or band would set up, they only offered these kind of plugs, you know, your 50 amp 3-prong or 4-prong, and some of them had the 3-prong 30 amp like this. Either it was 30 amp circuits or 50 amp circuits, because that's what they normally have for bands and DJs. But if we took a chance and plugged in on the regular outlets on the wall, we had to share those outlets with the catering service. And some of those guys had heat warmers and hot plates and lamps and things like that, like heat lamps for like to keep the food warm. So we risk all of our equipment on that same circuit. You know, once you get your music going and they got all these plates fired up, that sometimes you could trip a circuit and all your stuff shuts down because you're on that same circuit sharing it around the room. And one venue even had all the lights in the whole ceiling were on that same circuit. So he said, you risk, we got all these incandescent lamps everywhere, but you're on the same circuit with them. So we had to take a chance and plug into that and just monitor all the power and make sure, you know, nothing trips, because if it did, you know, it's embarrassing. But what I got is a mini distro box that allows us to plug into those 30 or 50 amp circuits and have our own dedicated clean power with 20 amp circuits on the distro box. The box that I picked up is made by Coleman, and it's OSHA approved and everything. It's the, let me just show you. This is the X-Treme box, and they have them all over Amazon and eBay, but it's Coleman X-Treme and the number is 01980. This box is OSHA approved. You either could use it this way or sitting down like that, because it has rubber feet on the bottom and the side. What it does is on the side right here, you have a 30 amp twist lock inlet right here. See, 4-prong, and that breaks it off into 2 20 amp circuits. You know, each circuit has its own breaker and protection. You know, you can reset everything right here, and you got 4 20 amp on one side right here. The other side is same thing. You got your breaker, your safety breaker right here, and then you have your 4 outlets right here. And what I had to do was I got help from my brother-in-law, because he's an electrician. Instead of me going out and buying all these expensive cables and all, we just got all our 30 amp twist lock plugs right here. These are the L14-30 plugs, and got 4 of these as of right now. Just plug one in like this, and the other end will plug into your 30 or 50 amp circuits that they have at the venue. What I had to do was, we have 30 amp 3-prong for like areas that still use the 3-prong sockets. Then you have your 30 amp 4-prong, like newer homes and newer buildings will have 4-prong, because I can't remember all the dates and all, but they had, if it was built before a certain date, it was 3-prong, and after that everything is 4-prong. So I got 30 amp 3 and 4-prong cables right here, pigtails as some people call them, and this is 10-3 cable. This is 10-3 because 3 conductor, 10 gauge, and this one right here is 10-4, which is 10 gauge and 4 conductor. And also we made the 50 amp circuits, because some places have 50 amp 3-prong and some have 50 amp 4-prong. And this is 8 gauge 4 conductor, 8 gauge 3 conductor. So 8-3, 8-4, and 8-3. And actually, if you plug into the 50 amp, we're not running 50 amps on our box right here. Just 50 amps is on the outlet, but we're only going to use 30 or less. Mainly, most of the time, I might be pulling 15, maybe 20 at max. So we can still plug into a 50, but you cannot pull 50 amps from this box right here. Can't do that. But you can still plug into the circuit, but just not use that much power. So I got all these pigtails made, and even if you had say you do a house party one day and or somebody's home and you don't want to plug into the standard outlets because they have space heaters and all kinds of things in the house, you can actually go to their the dryer, you know, their dry outlet. Should be a 4-prong if it's a newer home. And if it's an older home, it'll be a, where is it at? 3-prong. So I'm gonna hook this thing up, because my home is an older home. It was built before the 90s, so everything here is 3-prong when you look at the dryer, the range with a dry outlet. So I'm gonna plug this thing up and show you guys how it works. As far as making these cables, you could buy the cable from like, Lowe's or Home Depot. Also, another tip is what I did was for the 50 amp 4-prong and the 30 amp 4-prong, I just went to Lowe's and I bought the range 30 amp plug cord right here. This end is already pre-made. The end that was bare wires, you cut it off and just wire it into the twist lock. Same thing with the 50 amp. Just buy the 50 amp range cord and cut off the end right here. Cut off the cable, the ends that are on here, and put your little twist lock on. But these other ones, as far as the 3-prong, I had to make these because they had the standard gray thin kind of cable. I just went ahead and just got some. This is 50 amp, so that was 8 3 gauge, and this is 10 gauge 3 conductor, so 10-3. That's all I did for that. And no, I'm not an electrician, so if you guys ask any questions about as far as any kind of technical stuff with electrician, you had to use my brother-in-law because I didn't know all these different terms for all these different plug names. I mean, so many different names for everything. And yeah, of course I could wire it up once I have instructions, but I couldn't tell you as far as different names for all these different parts and everything. So I had to use my brother-in-law. He helped me out a whole lot. So thanks, Telly. All right, this is my little laundry closet right here. And see right here, my dryer is 30 amp. I just flipped off this breaker right here. See, my outlet right here is actually the 3-prong 30 amp. So I unplug my standard dryer plug right here. I'm gonna plug in the one that we made, which is right here, 3-prong. All right, you got it plugged in right here in the back. And the cable right here. Got a twist lock. Match it up so it plugs in correctly. And twist, and that's locked in. And my breakers are on, and what I'm going to do here is I got a circuit test that I always use, on gigs and everything. Well, when I do my site service to make sure the power is good. Just plug into one of these right here. Trying to do this with one hand. All right, let me flip on my breaker. As you can see here, everything is correct. It's from the circuit tester right here. Now, ground fault interrupt right here is on, and see the breaker. Flip it off, flip it on. If you want to test it, trips out. Yeah, there's tripped out. Test and his reset. And see all outlets right here. Then flip the other side of the box. Has its own circuit over here too. Yep. So right here, if I was say if this was somebody's house and we're running a couple amps and nice big party setup and lights and everything, fog machines, stuff that pulls a lot of power, and they have sketchy power or something like that, I can just come and say, where's your dryer at? Plug it to the dry outlet, run the cable down, right into the box, and we have our own 30 amp. Turn this camera around. We have 30 amps going into this Distro box right here, which splits it up into two 20 amp circuits, so we have plenty of power for your own gear, and you're not on any outlets in the house like this. So it's just a little tip if you guys want to, if you're looking at power distro boxes or anything like that, as far as you want to have your own dedicated power or just have the ability to plug into 30 or 50 amp circuits on different venues, because I tell you, I've been to 3 of them this year already, and we had to share the power with everybody else in that building, in that room, catering service and lighting, everything else like that. So this thing should come in handy on different events if we ever have to use it. Nice thing to have. And if you want to look it up, it's the Coleman X-Treme box, model 01980. So hope this helps anybody out that's looking at power distros, and this one's not expensive at all. So just look it up and you guys check it out.